So Lucy just came in to say hello, see how everything's going, get settled in for the for my video as I said everything. Okay, now we go. All right. What is coming to pass is something that I worried about and mentioned a few times in the past. What Trump is doing is he's sending the National Guard troops from what they call Republican states into Democratic cities and states to suppress the Democratic Party. That's all he's doing with the National Guard. That's what he wants to do. And the thing that's worrisome is that there's a retired general said this morning. I can see if I can find his name if you want, because nobody believes what I say anymore. Where's the mail? Here. Ta 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 ta. Yeah, ta 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 ta. Trump's military moves ratchet up threat of state-on-state conflict, says a retired general. They don't give his name. I'm sorry. Okay. Not in the headline anyhow, and I don't have time to dig through the whole story to find it. But that's the gist of the story, is that there are state rivalries to begin with. Okay, natural state rivalries in sports and everything else. And sometimes that leads to conflict at a sporting event or something like that, a state versus state, or university versus university or something like that. But this could get a lot worse, because the Democrats have a different opinion, at least they state they have a different opinion than the Republicans about how this country is supposed to be run. And theoretically, the Republicans are supporting Trump's totalitarian moves. I'm not sure if that's true in all cases, but it would appear to be that at least the money is supporting Trump's totalitarian attempts at totalitarian rule. So you have Democrats and Republicans in the same state all carrying guns. This could get very dangerous. And that's what the article says. It's state versus state conflicts, which is what Trump wants. Because so long as he can keep the country divided, he can go about and do what he wants to do. If the country unites against him, he doesn't have enough manpower, he doesn't have enough political clout, he has nothing going for him. I don't care what party you're in, but if the country unites, let's say, I don't want to get crazy, 65% of the country unites against Trump, he's gone. And so are the Republicans in their authoritarian ways. But even though public opinion seems to be drifting that way at times, Trump's still in power because he's keeping the states from doing that. And by doing what he's doing now, and he's actually trying to instigate the state-to-state violence, because that keeps the country separated, keeps this country from coming together and ousting him and the Republican Party. Well, not by election, throwing them out in the street where they belong. So this is a serious situation, and the Democratic states have to, and the people that are sympathetic to this united country situation, need to step up and start doing their own propaganda and getting to the troops and educating them not to start anything. Telling the state governors, do not start anything. Do not cause problems where he can come in and put federal troops, not National Guard, but like bring in Delta Force or somebody like that into their city, and then a lot of people are going to die because those guys are. The Delta Force is not a rescue mission team. They're a very combat-orientated team, so that will cause serious problems. Oh God! Now, in regards to Trump's health, he has a bruise in here. Okay. Well, I've had those too. Apparently what happens is you get older, the skin changes and everything, and if you hit your hand against something, I get like blood blisters underneath. You know, the blood comes underneath the skin. He says the blood's losing its elasticity, not the blood, the skin, it loses its elasticity as you get older, and things like that happen. I don't believe the location is definitely worrisome because that's where if they can't locate a vein, and I've had that problem, and my mother had that problem, they go to the back of the hand. And when you go to the hospital, that's where they put the drugs in the back of the hand, not your arm. All right? So it is possible that there is something more serious wrong. But when you say congestive heart disease, that's basically what you're told to do there is stay in bed and rest, not go play golf. Okay? So I don't think that's the problem. I think it's more likely what I suggested, that it's just old age. And he's around 80 years old now, I think. I'm not sure if he's 80 yet or if he's 79. He just turned 79. I don't know what the deal. I have to remember. But he's close to my age. So I understand these things happen too. You know, it's that I had one there too, you know, and I treat them differently than other people do. I cut them open and let the blood flow out. And the bruise goes away in a couple of days. Put antiseptic cream on it and everything, put a bandage on it, and everything goes away in a couple of days. But that's what I think it might be, because he's still active. Because he disappeared from Tuesday to what? Friday, they said? You know, 3 or 4 days. So what? You know, maybe he had the shits and he doesn't want to say anything, you know, because his ass is like, you know, really rotten. So it's possible that's what it was. You know? Nobody knows for sure. Nobody will know for sure because they're not going to release any information. Those that release the information will disappear. It's as simple as that. So nobody wants to, you know, disappear. Quit and run and hide maybe, but not be disappeared by that fat piece of crap. So that's the other big story that was going around, you know. And this guy Hunter Avalon, who's Occupy Democrats, has a tendency to, like, he puts up headlines like this. That wasn't Hunter Avalon. That was somebody else, an Occupy Democrat. But Occupy Democrats have a tendency to do this. They put up headlines that say, Republican stuns Trump with impeachment surprise. Well, you have to go through 3/4 of the story to find out if that's true or not, or what it's about. You know, maybe there's something it just doesn't make any sense. Then you got all these articles coming up about the Jasmine Crockett and Trump, you know, arguing all the time. And the days that these stories happens, he's not in his office or anywhere. And they're not anywhere where the two of them could get together. So I don't know where this is coming from. I don't understand that at all. You know, you get all this crap going on, and you get stories like this, and who knows? You know, who knows what's going on? They're putting a lot of fishing articles up on YouTube now, so I don't think politics is the top story anymore. But we never know, you know. Alright, it's early in the video, so let me go over here, because I'm just, you know, I'm worried, and it's hard to get, I have to go back and read that whole article, Rolling Stone article. If you want to know how what's going on with that stuff, I get the Rolling Stone newsletter. I subscribed to the magazine my whole life, since the second issue, I think. And or somebody's bought it for me or whatever, given it to me as a present, you know. But I find that it's similar to when I subscribed to the magazine. Very erratic delivery. The online magazine's the same. It's a very erratic delivery process. And online, it's very difficult to read, because it's difficult to read in. It's difficult to read in an email or something, like in the flesh, let's call it, the actual magazine, because a lot of the print's very fine, and at my age, I have a tendency to not want to read, strain my eyes too much, and right now my glasses are bad, so it's another reason I'm not doing it. But there's another big story. I'm sure you thought that was going to be my headline of the day, where XI, the premier of China, is reshaping a world order with Putin, and the United States isn't going to be the same thing anymore. And that's it. And that's what, you know, they're bringing that back down to placing us at the second tier, not the top tier of countries in the world. And they're capable of doing it economically, between China and what have you. Now, there's another story going on related to China. The U.S. has put warships off the coast of Venezuela, supposedly because of the cocaine and whatnot coming out of the country. Trust me, cocaine has absolutely zero to do with it. It's just a public statement. What the public sees. That's not why he wants to go in and invade Venezuela, but he's going to have a problem with China if he starts to do that. If they think he's really going to do that, because Venezuela has the largest undeveloped oil field in the world, or the largest oil reserve in the world. It's theirs, Venezuela. Now, the first time around, Trump wanted to see what he could do to get that. But China made a deal with Venezuela, buys their oil from Venezuela, a lot of oil from Venezuela. And that's what's making that douchebag Maduro wealthy. That and the fact that he may be dealing drugs, I don't know. It's quite a possibility. He's not too smart. I mean, he was a bus driver, an uneducated bus driver who's running the country, who has money all over the place. He gave money to Chavez's daughter, who's was representing Venezuela at the UN in some capacity. I don't know what it is. I do believe she still lives in a penthouse in New York, right near the UN. And she's put a lot of that money into bank accounts in the Cayman Islands or what have you. You know, the untraceable, untouchable bank accounts. Which Trump will never go after, because half his friends have hidden money there, you know, instead of paying taxes. That's where they put it. So that's a real that's real bullshit with Trump. I mean, that's a dangerous situation he's putting us in, because it puts us at odds with China. And you know, if China's not doing anything other than talking to Trump right now. Because if he invades, once he expends his ammunition and everything else, then China will bring their ships in and just lay waste to the Navy, all right? You know, we won't be able to resupply them, because, let's face it, munitions destroy airports and everything else. That's what they go after first, transportation facilities and stuff like that, the infrastructure of a country if they invade it, so that the army can't be supplied. And I'm not sure that the army might just throw their guns down, because Maduro is not a nice guy. But he's got the money to pay mercenaries, and he's got the money to pay his military and feed his military, even if his country's starving, which I don't think they are anymore. I'm really not sure. You don't see a lot of information from that country anymore, so it's hard to go out there and say this is true or that is true, it's just not that simple anymore. Oh, they just put up an article, breaking news, Trump death rumors explain what really happened online. I have no idea. I'll talk to you tomorrow about it maybe. NFL starts this weekend, so I may be back on Sundays. I don't know. I'm kind of enjoying my Sundays off from here. And when I say my Sundays off from here, it just allows my mornings to go much smoother, and we can plan things. I don't have to be worried about I have to be home at specific times or something like that. So, it's like today. I'm rushing this. I got this video out. I'm almost done, and it's not even 10 o'clock yet. And that's. And that's what did I do wrong here? Oh, but that's a great thing for me because we're going shopping today. All right, my time's up. You guys go out. Please subscribe. It does me wonders. It builds me up. I want to get my viewership up where I can, have more ability to get things across, and quite possibly figure out a way and maybe get one or two interviews. Maybe one of my friends will come on with me, and we'll talk about situations, But I'm surprised that at this point in time, Rolling Stone is still one of the best news sources for me in the world, and that just drives me insane. All right, listen, subscribe, comment, throw bricks at the TV. I don't care. But please recognize me. It's just the recognition I'm looking for. The subscribers are sort of like a badge of recognition for me. So I'd like it, Please. Okay, that's it for me today, and I will talk to you tomorrow.